All right, I'm getting fucked with right now by that Maria Tavares here. I want to go ahead and do this video just to get my stuff back in the spirit plane. I started playing, old African spirituals because, like I say, this Maria Tavares, along with my highest selves, to a large degree, they had control of a lot of my entity attachments and stuff in the spirit plane. And I'm trying to remove that and do something about it. Going back to that August the 22nd, 2022 timeline. Again, these are the people that's involved. For that August 22nd, 2022 timeline, I got a blonde German woman. I feel like fucking Maria Tavares lording over me. I had a scary, vision and dream in the middle of the fucking night, as well, as a matter of fact, when I woke up. But I keep feeling like she's trying to take full control of my consciousness by fucking with entity attachments that, control it, rules over it, and keeps, removing it and taking it out. And it's just hell, like I said before. I keep hearing in the spirit plane, you want to get rid of her because she's trying to kill you, like what I saw last night. But I really want to get rid of all of these curses. After I saw how these people are living, despite how I'm living, I live in a nice apartment, but it's not where I should be. It's not the trajectory of where I should be in life. I feel like something fucking with my consciousness right now as I talk. It's not where I ultimately should be. I should be in a much better place. And, from what I've seen in the spirit plane, it's a bunch of evil, evil, demonic-ass people that's feeding off of me as a sacrifice and putting that karma, is the people that's involved. Well, I'm going to show you in a couple of minutes. But with that being said, this Maria Tavares, in them timelines going back to August 22nd, 2022, I saw the Illuminati. I saw that timeline in their consciousness, the people that's my higher to highest selves. They removed my original higher to highest self, got rid of her and all of that. It's just a major clusterfuck. And I'm just trying to get my consciousness and everything back on track and back to normalcy. I got, cored out last night where I had a lot of my stuff. You can use 694 hertz, 695 hertz. I feel like Maria Tavares is manipulating this so she could use it for her best interest. I had a lot of my consciousness cored out, and I find that in the spirit plane, my consciousness is connected to these people, who stole a lot of my shit. I know that sounds schizophrenic, but this is very, very real. And I had entity attachments being removed yesterday. And, I have what little of a spirit team I got trying to put me back together as best as they can. And in so doing, I remember because one of the major components of my consciousness got removed yesterday. And going back a week before, I went to Walmart, came back. And that's when I had that experience with the roach realm. Before that, I had a lot of my consciousness cored out by these people, I'm conjecturing. I say before, she's the higher self of the reader. While sitting in my... This is just excruciating. I got to be told to lie down for 5 fucking hours unnecessarily, keep the light on to get spiritual help. This is just unnecessary. I've been having Pazuzu. You can use 694 hertz, 695 hertz to see what's going on spiritually with me. Make a long story short, I was going to say something. Just when I was about to do this video, I started having Maria Tavares go into my consciousness and start manipulating things and fucking with things and fucking with me because it's like she wants to block me from, saying what's going on and, saying I need help and all of that. And she stole something in the spirit plane. It's very, very significant parts of my consciousness, which can be used to fuck with it, control it damn near. Now that I think about it, last night, from what I understand, these people, that I showed you at the beginning want to set me up to be, they want to set me up to get raped by them for... She just did something to get rid of my Baron Samedi and my Pazuzu, to get raped by them, meaning having all my blessings, even astral body parts stolen for the rest of my life. Pierre Home, but namely, it's that woman, that tarot reading woman from that fucking place, her lowest self, her higher self, all going back to that May the 1st, 2024 timeline, and even now, it's just, every time I'm about to do a video or something, she starts fucking with it, fucking with me royally, really, 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 really bad. And, I had something, it's called a screwdriver in the spirit plane, something like that, that's used to maintain your consciousness, and she stole that last night, and I just felt like she stole like another entity attachment as well, that's vital to my consciousness. And I feel really, really this is very fucked up, because I feel stalled in my thoughts, like I can't say anything, and I feel helpless. I got frequency, but she's so ingrained in my consciousness now that she can manipulate it and control it and get rid of it. And like I said, I have no good spiritual help. It's all bullshit. It's just, they raised my father, but she did something last night. Again, they're trying to set me up to where they can steal my blessings and all of that. And with that being said, I had a lot of my shit stolen by her in the middle of the night. I remember being raped by, it felt like an entity attachment of Al Bundy, and from what I understand, is one of the people who put these curses on me. So with that being said, going back to last week, you can use 694 hertz, 695 hertz to see. They took a lot of my consciousness out, where they took, pretty much my blessings, stuff that belongs to me and all of that. And, are just, it's keeping my body parts, parts of my consciousness, parts of my spirit and energy body in the astral plane. I just got dumbass fucking spiritual protection that I just feel like I ain't got no fucking help. It's just incompetent ass shit that expects you to stand still while they do work on you, and expect ludicrous, damn near schizophrenic things of you. You got to stay in bed all day. You can't throw out the trash no matter how much it piles up. Don't do this. And it's fucking ridiculous. I really don't have much in the way of spiritual help. And I feel parts of my consciousness right now fading. It's got something, I've been putting the black kyanite over there. She was able to get into it. At one point, I feel her right now moving around and fucking with it as I speak. And, I was trying to get back to doing videos. And every time I go back to putting my face out there, making my face prolific, I start getting intimidated by this, evil shit and this evil, fucking be the bitch. I just want to be free of these fucking curses. And I just want this shit off of me. Because of what she'll do if I try to use my third eye, because she's in my body. It's hard for me to use my third eye to be able to do anything. I'm going to try to do the reading as best as I can, just using the tarot cards. Because the minute I do that, she'll manipulate or fuck with an entity attachment in there, inside of my spirit body, my energy body, and start trying to remove something that's crucial. I always hear that shit, looking and going into, talking about, oh, they would have found this, they would have found that, and, but I'm so fucking compromised inwardly, you can't trust that. That shit always get hampered. So let me go ahead and use, I can't. It's going to be a muddled mess. So anyways, in the obstacle position, we got the King of Pentacles. And I feel that you're in a place where you have shit. Okay. You have a war going on. You have shit that's battling over you. But it's people that I want to say don't have your best interest at heart. Aren't really looking out for you. So in the present position, you got the Page of Wands. And I feel like you're coming into self-empowerment. So for the future position, we got the Fool. And I feel like you're sitting on the precipice. This reminds me of when I saw Santa Muerte the other night. As a matter of fact, pray for me for this. I'm going to be doing an article talking about how I remember at one point feeling Maria Tavares playing with, it's a part of your body where your soul exits your body from the bottom and, goes into hell realms and all of that. And I remember I could feel her playing with it physically to the point where my bowels started moving. And when I got into the tub, even though I didn't shit, I didn't feel anything come out. The minute I get into the tub, there was shit coming out my ass. And it wasn't compacted, so this bitch is trying to bring me close to fucking dead, and it's serious. So with that being said, I feel like you're on the precipice of conquering something and overpowering something. So right here we got that. And I feel that that's in your subconscious position. And I feel that you're looking to end something. You're looking to bring about a new beginning, and just, you're not playing games. You want something to end. So anyways, for your goals position, Ace of Wands, I feel like that deals with self-empowerment and epiphanies. You coming up with new ideas and new ways of combating something and dealing with something, because the old ways of dealing with something is tired. It's done. So anyways, for your advice card, Four of Swords, something is telling you, I feel like, to work with other people and to also put some muscle into it. Just don't do things alone. So for the energy that circumvents around you, I feel like there's people that's watching and you're going into hermit mode and you're trying to, plot what you need to do assiduously. So for the Fears and the Hopes card, we got the Ace of Cups, and I feel like something very good is coming around the corner for you. Something very, very positive. So for the outcome, but you have to play the game to get there. So for the outcome, we got the Tower. And I feel that the Tower as the outcome means there's going to be something that might permanently fuck you up. So be very, very careful of that. But I'm going to say something right now, like with what I'm facing. Don't let shit scare you. Don't let shit intimidate you. That's what I'm dealing with right now. And I'm going to forge forward. I just wish I had a more competent spirit team to work with that can put you back together without having you wake up, so that they can work on you and put you back together and do what they're supposed to be fucking doing. And for you to be, for you to be tormented and shit, it's just, I was learning the spirit plane yesterday, all this shit, it's just, I got an unfair God. I got a bad fucking deal, a really bad raw fucking deal. 94 hertz, 695 hertz to C. And later on that night, I had that experience with the roach realm, and that was very, very scary. As a matter of fact, I'm going to talk about, approaching that again in the spirit plane and how God came along and saved me. I don't know what it represents, but with that being said, this is very, 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 very scary. My consciousness feels like fucking dead. I feel brain dead right about now. Like I said, I got to get a Reiki healer, something to put my ass back together, because this is just too fucking much. Like I say, they keep stealing my shit so that I can be set up to be sacrificed. I got something in the spirit plane the other day where I had an entity attachment of Al Bundy. I was told it actually represented one of the highest selves that I had going back to the August the 22nd, 2022 timeline. I had the people put a curse on me. I got the Barbara David Rayner, but I don't think that's their real name. I saw a German woman. I remember, I plan on doing an article on it today, who was calling me on the phone, who I could hear in the background when this curse first started. A bunch of people like to steal from folks' consciousnesses, and, like I said, in one timeline, they got me. I got soul swapped. I've seen the Illuminati in that timeline. I saw a man drive the person who took me over through my timelines in that timeline, as well as at the hands of these people here. on May the 1st, 2024. Like I said, from my timelines, they appear squiggly. She's going to try to manipulate that. This Maria Tavares has done something where she's done taken over a lot of my consciousness, and it's by fucking with my entity attachments. I'm just trying to think of what I should do with regards to this situation, because I don't want it to get any motherfucking worse. But I think her lowest self, it's them people at San Miguel Archangel Botanica, and they're open on Wednesdays and Saturdays. They're located at 8704 Broadway Street by 87 in Broadway, and that's in Los Angeles, California, 90003. I think that, anyways, I keep getting fucked with by them and keep getting fucked with really, really, really fucking bad to the point of fucking death. Anyways, with that being said, from what I understand about myself, I like I said before, and I'll say it again, I just want to be free of fucking curses. I just want this shit off. And have all this evil shit, all of these curses taken off of me. It's just evil, I got, going back to Bear Insanity and all this entity attachment primarily, shit that's insisting on keeping me under motherfucking curses and keeping me as a sacrifice. My Archangel Michael, I'm trying to discern what the fuck is going on with that. I think, when I remember when this curse first started, having Isaac Mizrahi come to me in a dream saying, when you're in the realm of the demiurge or something, you have to be very careful of the Jews that you possess and that you protect. And from what I understand, he was one of the people going back to that August 22nd, 2022 timeline. I was pretty prominent at Malibu for walking around topless. That's in, but also these people, they got chronovisors from what I understand. They can see who's coming up in the spirit plane and just steal and take your shit if you ain't got no protection. And Baron Samedi and his higher self, Don Tolliver, set me up to be a sacrifice. With that being said, from what I understand, going back to that timeline, I'm trying to just, my consciousness is being fucked with right now, really, really fucking bad. I think I got set up to be a sacrifice. I think my Archangel Michael might be his. I don't know. Like him. But with that being said, like I described on my website, I don't have any spiritual fucking protection. I got a little bit that's been helping me out and a little bit that's been looking out for me. But, not that much. I feel like someone trying to manipulate me to speak on something right now. I got some abetment, but not really. And, with that being said, this is just, with this Maria Tavares being the worst of it, I'm trying to discern what the fuck is going on with her. This is fucked up to live my life like this, where you're being unfairly pulled to the brink of fucking death. She's been, as I stated on my blog yesterday, tearing out my etheric walls, tearing up my spirit body. I need to get Reiki or something in the future so that I can be brought close to the Santa Muerte's realm. And I've been experiencing that where, I actually rescued a few people. I don't want to say a phantom, but a spirit LAPD helicopter, because there'll be no crimes being committed. In another instance, I heard demonic voices coming from it, meaning people who've been trapped in hell realms. You can use 125 hertz, 1185 hertz. The Free People from Hell Realms, 156 hertz spirit jars, 3517 hertz to put people back together, along with 3571 hertz. To put people back, in 117 hertz and 800 hertz works very well for both spirit and physical bodies. I got to get my shit back today because I feel fucking cored out like a motherfucker. And like something is trying to, this Maria Tavares, keep it up so I don't get my shit back by fucking with my entity attachments as I talk. You know, I'm aware that I sound schizophrenic, but trust me when I say all this is mad motherfucking real and it's true. You know, I'm hearing about how them people live in that timeline, and it's very, very fucking fucked up. But anyways, Maria Tavares, you know, is one of the big ones. You know, them people here, I got that they live in the Pacific Palisades in that timeline and are doing very well. I'm sitting here stuck, you know, barely able to make ends meet. But anyways, with that being said, you know, they keep tearing out my shit, you know, to bring me more, you know, closer to the brink of death. With that being said, last night, you know, I'm going to say this right now, you know, her realm is very, very fucked up. There's something wrong with it. She's a Topa thought form. And I'm going to say this right now. The problem with her, Santa Muerte, is that her followers act as judge, jury, and executioner. And me and them roach spirits saw it with a young woman we rescued from her realm who had been raped and had been condemned there by her ancestors, by the guy's ancestors who saw, you know, her reporting them and wanted to avert that. And with that being said, another major problem is, you know, like I talked about in my blog, I may put it, you know, in the comments below. She controls your oversoul consciousness, their oversoul consciousness. You know, their creator gods. Look, I'm just gonna put it out there. Are fucking evil spirits, Wet'suwet'en and all of that. They hail from, I'm not really sure as to the place, the star system, but it starts with an S. I'm trying to think, and there's an alien race that are, you know, kind of middle-bodied that derive from there. With brown hair, they talk about the Pleiadians, but they're close to it, and I forgot their names. Not the Manchurians or something like that. But anyways, with that being said, she hails. They hail from there, and you know, from what I understand, there was a major fucking war, nuclear war that happened in that star system that put them all in hell realms and shit and killed them off. Just like what the Illuminati is planning with us. Use 1248 hertz frequency to defeat them, 694 hertz along with 695 hertz to see. And they're prominent going back to the August 22nd, 2022 timeline. I feel so schizophrenic. It's not even funny, but it's just my consciousness is fucked up and there's a lot of shit I just want to get out. With that being said, going back, their primordial gods, their gods, you know, from what I saw, were some evil motherfuckers. You know, they would, you know, from what I understand, not only does God come and swoop you up, if you come from them places, South America, because of their creator gods, whereas our creator gods could just, out of the Marian stuff, come in, judge us, and be a part of the judging process. Their spirit god, their spirits are so fucking evil. Their creator gods, Quetzalcoatl and all of that, who would shapeshift into a white man, like with Baron Samedi. Whenever you have a white man as your god, that's a curse. And he had been trying to remove Baron Samedi, by the way, the original one, for a minute. With that being said, I've been trying to avert it, but I feel something moving one of my entity attachments right now saying quiet. But with that being said, their creator guides aren't allowed in the spirit plane. Going back to when they were first created, just like, from what I understand, not only does God swoop them people up, but make sure they weren't manipulated into doing evil acts, because that's what they created gods. It was evil spirits like Quetzalcoatl and reptilians that would manipulate them into doing shit they didn't want, and selling little, fucking human bodies and shit, doing sacrifices at, little marketplaces, just like, how they're big on selling little, doing small, very, very small, business type shit to this day, and making them work extremely hard to feed off of, to get loose out of them, to feed off of loose from them, coming from them. That's their creative fucking gods. And from what I understand, they got spliced with Cometian genes or something. That's how they got pyramids over there. They used, I heard the ancient Indians did the same thing too, but they were a lot more sophisticated and a lot more peaceful. That's why they got the Nazi symbol. That when it's not inverted, it actually represents peace. In that sense, it represents spiritual protection at the four corners of the elements, which is, it's a lot I got to say, which I saw. These entities, I think they're necromancer demons. Allah, who's a separate but new demiurge, actually works with them. That's why he has the women wear burqas and all of that. They do Tai Chi to protect people from the four elements. They also wear like the executioner or KKK hats. You can see that at the Vatican. There's a spiritual reason behind that. But with that being said, their ancestral gods are wicked motherfuckers. To the point where they're not allowed in the spirit plane to swoop them up. They had them people act as fucking, you saw it with Apocalypto, fucking demented ass fucking robots and shit. It wasn't until God came along that they were able to get their higher chakras, from what I saw, as well as get light put in them, because before it was just a primordial darkness. So with that being said, when I've seen people, even me myself, in Santa Muerte's realm, I've seen the people, like a couple of people I rescued, including that rape victim. I'm just like, that's not fucking right of you to do that. They get, it's like what I saw with Selena, and what this young black lady was saying she saw with Selena.